So you remember all this area now, right? All here used to be a bank, as you can see from the height of that bank. The road vehicles used to ride there and go across to the terminal building. There was a booth somewhere there, a security booth. That booth has been removed and this area has been leveled off. Now what is going to go here in this area is the hangars for the aircraft. I am not too sure how long it's going to be, but that is what is going to take place there. We still have some concrete work to be done in this area. And cement is coming truckloads after truckload. And the guys on the apron area, the cargo apron area, they are laying down the moldings, all of the moldings. So when they start to do the concrete work, it's straight ahead, no stopping. And then after that, they will have to come to this area and start to do some concrete works and nice it up. Now, earlier down at the southern end, where we were looking at that area where they were dumping the dirt and other rubbers, and I've seen some concrete slabs, and I wondered where they have come from. Then afterwards it dawned on me that they have brought them from this area up here where we had two buildings. One of them was taken down a good while now, and the other one was still standing up until about 2 weeks ago. Last week when we were here, it was down and the slabs were lying on the ground waiting to be removed. Now we come up here, we can see that those slabs down there that I thought came from here actually came from here. So now that we are looking at this area, we see we have Caterpillar here. It is lunchtime actually, so no work is going on, but they were working here early up this morning. And now you can see how far in they would have come with this area, leveling off this area to bring it the way that it's supposed to be, to make the area look as nice as it should look when all of this work is completed. So here we are giving you an update of the work being done here in this area close to the terminal building, and you would have seen over the years, over the months coming here, the photographs which gives you an idea as we come here week after week, as you can see the progress of the work that has been taking place here at the Argyle International Airport site. Now in front of us here we have this light pole, and last week the guys were here doing some maintenance work on the pole. The pole behind me down on the far south, the last one down there close to the apron area down there, the lights are down like this one here also. And the way this is being done, they have like a pulley that will, and they connected with some cables, those 3 cables it looks like on the side there, 3 or 4 cables, and I don't know how they actually get it go up, if it is powered by electricity or what, but it can move up and down along this column, so nobody has to climb the pole to get to maintain the lighting system. And what it looks like there, it looks like a solar panel there which will sort of provide electricity for its work, or for that light that is going to be there on in the night. I don't have any idea how it works, but I am just giving you a close-up look of it to show you. And the guys have been working on it last week, and there we have it here down. So when it needs, like a bulb needs changing, this is how it is being done, and then it is wheeled all the way back up to the top up there after it is completed. But we're still here looking closer to the works here right in front of us. Last week when we came, we noticed that nothing was happening here. We had a truck and a piece of equipment digging down that area, but over the past week gone, we see the amount of work that is being done here. leveling off this area. Now that the scaffolding that were put up here to enable the workmen to have a height to stand on to put in these glass panels, now that those scaffoldings have been removed, we are now seeing the glass panel there where we are going to have the passenger walkway coming from the aircraft through this jet bridge here on the northern end. If you're using this jet bridge to get into the terminal building or out of the terminal building onto the aircraft, you will be passing through that area and all through that glass area there back into there. But those who will be using this one don't have to walk through that glassway that was installed. But the work on these seems to be have completed, and all we have now down here on the ground is to do whatever concrete works or landscaping works to be done here on this side. So the people who came to install these jet bridges and do all the other necessary work on them, they have completed their task and have left. And now the other works here on the side are continuing as the weeks go by, as we look forward to the operational date of this Argyle International Airport site. We are here at the area where the gutter is running, and last week they were doing some work here, digging out the trench for the water through which the water is going to run. I have learned that they are going to put in some concrete sidings, but I don't know exactly how this is going to be. But I am waiting patiently to see how it is going to be done. A trench has been dug all the way out there, and here you can see coming out from this area some massive boulders here. You will not believe that these stones are actually here in this, but they are buried way back down here. So this is the work so far up here that has been done over the past week here at the river area, where the water from coming down in this little stream here and water coming out from the airport side will be linking up and heading down to the 191 channel down there that work has been done on. And when I get down there, you're gonna see better what has taken place. Here on top of the 191 channel, looking across down towards the seaside, as you can see in that trench that they would have dug there for the continuation of the flowing of the water that is flowing through this 191 channel down to the seaside, you could see that they would have put some boulder stones into the bottom and have poured some concrete there on the side, on the base there, to continue for the water to flow down towards the sea from through this channel on which I'm standing, through which the water is running current. Now over here we have the continuation of the filling up of the area with dirt, and after the dirt has been dumped here, they are being leveled off, and a compactor comes and compact the dirt. So all this area here that you're looking at right now will be filled up with dirt. I am not sure how they're going to do the edge here by the 191 channel, how they're going to link up the bottom there to keep the dirt up, but we'll watch and see as time progresses here, as the work continues out here at the Argyle International Airport site. But currently I'm on top of the area where we have those tunnels, what we call the 191 channel. All here used to be a trench. The channel the metal frames have been run underneath, and now it is being filled with concrete and dirt to bring it up to the level, to the height of the runway on both the northern and southern end that has already been completed. So as time progresses, we're going to see this area right up to the level where it's supposed to be. We're here at the 220 channel, and the concrete filling is getting there. I can say we are more than 3/4 of the spanning and the filling up of the concrete area. That yellow truck you see passing there is driven by an ex-policeman named the Silver. We call him Das. And after lunch, so he's back. He's actually working out here on the site, transporting stuff from one end to the next. So he's heading back to the area where he's working. It's just after 1 o'clock to start his work again. Now while they're filling up this area with concrete between the metal frames on both ends of this spanning area, they are filling up the area also with dirt to bring it up to a level. And when all of the concrete filling is completed, then they start to fill up this area with dirt and compacting it. As you can see, the work is progressing quite well, and like I've told you, from both ends are still left to be filled with concrete. So they have started in the center and they are walking towards both ends, left and right, as they complete this work. Last week when I visited here, they were doing this end down here on the eastern side, and they have gotten a good bit. And nothing is happening here right now. I am not too sure if after lunch they will continue with the workings here. I have learned that they had no cement, but cement is being transported here on the site today, and which means that we are going to have a lot of concrete works taking place during the weeks coming. Now this truck is transporting, behind it is a generator. This generator will provide current for the power tools if they're doing work, carpentry work in some areas, and it also provides night light in areas where work is being done in the night. Over there on the Petrocliff Hill, no drilling is taking place because it seems as though our 2 drills are done, but there are rocks there to be cleared away, and we have a piece of equipment up there. They are not doing any work right now. Like I've told you, people are going to head back to work just after lunch, but they have been working there this morning as they continue to bring down this Petroglyph Hill here. Once more, we are here at the area where the river once ran, and you know by now that the river has been channeled through the culverts that were built for the river to be channeled through, and all this area where you're seeing here now, here is where the river once used to run. And if you can look back in previous photographs I would have taken and video shots, you would see where the river used to run. Now, since the river was channeled through the tunnels, this area now has to be filled up, and this is what it is up to this point here. They are filling it up week after week, day after day, with soil taken from other areas, and we have a compacting machine compacting it, and dirt has been taken from all areas dumped here, and you're seeing what the area has now become, as if there wasn't any river running here. And as I speak with you and journey down to along the area where the river runs, I am seeing a white truck heading down there with stuff just come from over the bank over there where we have that caterpillar on the hillside, and this dirt is being dumped down here and leveled off, and a compacting machine compacts it as it goes right down. This area down there where we have the truck going down, that area is the area where the runway will be passing. So all that area will have to be filled right up to that level of the bank there, so that we can have the runway passing over in that area. Here we have this area has not too long been sprayed with the asphalt oil base. This is the first layer of the runway on the northern side, and if you recall, down at the south we would have already had the top layer, the first layer being sprayed with the oil spray, awaiting the final finishing coat of the asphalt layer here. Now this morning and not too long ago, the oil truck was up here and they have just finished spraying this area here, so that we could have the second layer of asphalt being laid on. So not too long from now, I don't know how soon it will be, we'll be having the asphalt layer, the second coating of asphalt layer being laid on here on this area of the runway on the northern end of the airport site. Already, like I've told you, the southern side would have been completed, and now they have done this area this morning. Gentlemen, you see looking at me right here, he is one of my YouTube viewers. He doesn't have a Facebook page, but he follows my updates on YouTube week after week.
That's right.
And here we are at the Argyle International Airport. And your name is?
My name is David Daniel.
From?
Rattermill.
Rattermill.
Following you all the time.
Okay.
Keep up the good work.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Okay. So keep doing it, because this is the history in the making, and this will be preserved for generations to come, to record what a great and mighty project was done in St. Vincent in the years to come. That's right.
So there you have it, Mr. Daniel, one of my YouTube follower, who looks forward week after week for my update here at the Argyle International Airport site, even though he comes himself and check out the work. Now Mr. Daniel does not have a Facebook page, so he doesn't have the privilege of also seeing the photographs, but he looks at the update every week. And before my last update, before last week, was on the last Saturday in August, but he is now informed that there is an update for last week, so I guess when he gets home he will start to follow that update. Northern end of the turning head, we have this machine here. This is a cutting machine. This machine has a blade attached to the front of it, and I'm going around to show you the blade here on the machine. It thinks it works with gasoline or something. That is a wider tip blade there, you see there, hooked onto the machine. And what it is doing, it is cutting some holes here into the concrete where the joints are. Now between these joints where this machine has cut the hole, they're going to put styrofoam material and seal that material down in with a seal, and this seal now will help to ease the cushioning of the concrete, you know, the concrete when it shifts, and help it not to jam against each other, and to prevent water from seeping through the cracks here. And so this is what this machine is doing up here, and cutting the holes. Afterwards some guys gonna come and they're gonna start putting in the foams, and they're going to have this area sealed. They have already done a certain area of the apron section. They have done down on the southern end of the airport site, the southern turning head. They would have already done that work down there, and now they are up here on the northern end doing the same kind of work. So I'm heading further up north to the edge up there to see what has been done. Last week when we were here, you remember they were doing the shoulder area here this shoulder area on the eastern side, where I spend most of my time here observing the work on this side, where they were laying down the asphalt work here on this shoulder area of the length of the turning head. Now this shoulder area that they're putting in will form a passageway, a roadway for vehicles and certain vehicles, let me say emergency vehicles specifically, because sometimes you say vehicles walking at the airport and people may interpret it as all the different vehicles that are going to operate. But in the case of an emergency where an ambulance or the fire truck or whatever other vehicle, emergency vehicle, has to come close to the runway, they don't actually have to drive on the runway. There is going to be this width of roadway. It looks as if it's a 2-lane road that is going right along alongside the runway, and the vehicles can now use this roadway to make their way north or south along the runway to get to wherever that emergency may exist. Not too long from now, how soon I don't know, but not too long from now, vehicles that will be traveling to Warauco and to get to the IADC office will have to use this area up here to get to the office. Currently they are using a temporary access road that comes through the Argyle Gardens and comes down north of the 191 channel and take you to Warauco and to the IADC office. But as the runway for the international airport continues northward, that area will have to be closed, and we will have to have another access road for vehicular traffic and pedestrian to get to the Warauco Beach and to Mount Pleasant area, and also to the IADC office. And this is the area where the access road will be put for those people who wanting to get to Warauco and to the IADC office. Now where you are coming down currently, you will just have to come a little bit further along as you get to that area where the Argyle Primary School is, before you get over to the corner bar overlooking the runway, where you see those vehicles are passing there, where the old Argyle Road exited. There is where you're going to have to come in and use to get to Warauco. But this area will have to be walked on to make it motorable for you. I don't know if they're going to do it right up, finish it and done, or they're going to leave it temporarily and so that you can travel. But it would make sense if they do it one time and done, so that they wouldn't have to come back and do it. But it's going to travel all the way around here and head down to the area where they just put in those fencing on the eastern side. That area I'm going to get down there in a while from now, so that you can see what I'm talking about. But it will be in this area that the permanent access road to Warauco, coming from the countryside, coming from the old Argyle, from the area of the Argyle Primary School there. That primary school is on your left if you're going towards the countryside, and if you're going towards Kingston, it's on your right, just up in the hole there. And you're cutting off onto the old road that once used to be the Argyle Road, going down around this side here. You're coming down onto that road and you're coming down into this area. Now we have had a lot of backfilling here. All this area where I'm standing on right now used to be sea water. You see, used to be coming all up here, used to be a part of the seashore. The road was running more inland over in that area over there where you see the trucks are somewhere over in that area. The Argyle Road used to go out and cut it. And all here used to be sea area. Now it has been filled up with boulders, massive boulders, dirt and other stuff. And now we have, what we're going to now have here is a road going to put here to come around the airport. Here we are at the top side, the northern side of the fencing that has been erected so far. Last week when I visited, I can recall seeing them putting up some of these columns, some of the posts for the fencing, the mesh. None of the mesh were in as yet. But this week that I have come back here at the site, they would have already completed all the meshing. Now the drain, I believe, will be coming down in this area where we are looking at there and head towards the sea over there. Because the drain is running from south to north. So, but we will look and see how that works out later on. But for now we have the fencing, and while we were coming up Argyle, you would have noticed them doing fencing work just below the control tower area. So we don't have any work up here. But this work here, what you're seeing, part of it was completed last week, and now all the fencing has gone in over that last week. So down there where they're putting in the new fencing also, you notice that they have some that they would have done before, but they didn't put up the mesh wire. But when they start putting up mesh wire, they will put up a big area. Here where you're seeing that split there, when the road up here is completed, that will be the area for the water off the road to run through that area and go down into the box drain down there. I believe that they're going to put in a slip drain here, a concrete drain on the side. So those areas where you have the split where the fencing is running, there is where they're going to have the cutting for the water to run off the road through those cuttings into the box drain that is there on the inside of the fencing. There we have a section of the road down here already done. I don't know if that is going to be the full width of the road or if they're going off on the other side, but as time progresses we are going to see what happens here at the side. So you are seeing that the fencing work is going in. It is going in gradually. Up here on the northeastern end of the airport site, you see a good bit of the fencing has already gone in. So this is not going to take any considerable length of time. 2 years as someone would have predicted. Once the area is prepared, because the area must be prepared, the surveyors must survey the area to give the proper alignment of the fencing. And once that is done, the necessary preparation work is finished, the guys who are doing the fencing will come in and start to do their work. And in no time, this work will be completed. As you can see here, with the fencing of this section, a section that was finished, completed last week, is now fully completed with all the mesh in place, and there is no more work to be done up here as yet. So they have moved to another area where they're going to continue the work on this segment of the activity here at the airport site. This is as far as where the fencing has gotten to on the southern end of the site. This is the southeastern end here. We're heading southwards, and already we see we have a space there for another column and another one here. And if you notice, in between this space we have some concrete works there. And on this concrete works, the wall for the fencing is going to fall. Now if where I stand here and look straight across to where that caterpillar is, I am going into the drain right now, and I'm looking from inside the drain right across over in the distance. This is giving me an indication that this is the direction the fencing is going to take. But I don't know if the road will be passing down there or if they will be bringing it more inland away from the sea to avoid the erosion from the sea. But this is what we're going to have to wait and see when the time comes. But given what we are seeing in front of us here, and if I stand right here and look straight across, right over in that area where you see the caterpillar is over there, if I go over there and look across, I'm going to see linking up with the fencing over there that has already been done from this vantage point. And if I am to go up on top the wall here, the side of the wall, and look across, and we are going to wait until the caterpillar, the front end loader, moves a while so that we can have a clear view. We will be able to see from here the other fencing that were erected over on the eastern side down there, more to the south, just in the area of the concrete mixing plant. I don't know if you can see it there, but over in the distance where that vehicle just passed there, you can see the fencing. So if I'm standing on the inner side of the concrete drain, so if I stand from right here and look across, you are seeing the fencing over there. So this will give you an idea as to the position or the direction where this fencing is going to pass from where it is up here, linking up to the one down there. And from what I have gathered, it will be passing over the edge of the where we have the river spanning over that section, then coming straight across up at this area. But we'll wait and see what transpires over that period of time in times to come. So you remember what here used to look like? All that hill up there on the bank side, this is what used to be here. Now we see all these stuffs are being moved from here. As you can see, the leveling off of this area, and this stuff that is being moved from here is being taken down over on the side there and dumped in the area where we had the river running, as they continue to fill up that area with stuff to build it up so that it can reach to the level of the runway, so that they can continue the laying down of the stones of the runway and the paving of that runway. There you have a truck being loaded with stuff from here. All this area is cut, and you will see by now that it's in this area that the caterpillar is clearing off. Our fencing will be passing to link up with the one over there in the distance. All here is the area of the river. On the northern side of the river spanning, where we are now having filled up with dirt, as you're seeing for yourself, truckload after truckload with dirt being dumped here in this area. All down there on the flat used to be where the river once ran, and now we have it being filled up. Now it appears as though they are doing some filling up with concrete in the area of the 220 channel. We have a truck that is heading down there on top of it here, and no doubt they are continuing the filling of this area with the concrete. I am here at the Bayside area, trying to give you a look to see the area to which the water from under the 191 channel will be heading. Now here am I at the Bayside area. My back is turned towards the sea, And where you see that culvert there is a temporary culvert that they were put to take the water that is coming from just in front the concrete batching plant in that gutter. The water runs through here to come down here. And up there in that opening that you see there, where the piece of equipment is parked, just where those stones are laid there, that is the area where the water that is coming through the 191 channel will be passing. That water will be passing and coming through here. It means therefore that there will be opening this area of the road to make way for the water to flow under there. All of this work has to be done before they can actually start channeling the water through this area to head down to the sea. So this is the preparation work we see here right now, and no doubt they will be digging down into that area where the roadway is and bringing it down to this level, so that when the water flows through that area of the tunnel, it will be passing and coming down all in this area where they would have already dug a trench and taken the water down to the sea area. I am down here on the side of the fencing that is just before you reach the 191 channel. That's just in front of the IADC office, and I'm looking straight up to the area where I just came from to see the linkage of the fencing up there, what it will be looking like. So from down here where I'm at, I'm looking straight up. I can see the fencing, the passageway that is going to take to come straight down here, right over the 220 and the 191 channel, and linking up just behind me. We are here at the area of the commercial taxiway where they did some asphalt work over the past week. I didn't pass here last week when I visited, so I am not too sure when this work was done, but quite obvious here we have a considerable amount of asphalt work being done. The first layer here of the taxiway towards the commercial section. As you can recall, they would have done a portion of the taxiway to the apron section down there, and now we have the first layer of asphalt work here on this area of the taxiway towards the section, the commercial section of the apron area. Now this piece that we are looking at here right now shows that it is a fresh piece that has been done, but probably this was done over the week past, between Saturday and between Sunday last week and sometime yesterday, because last Saturday they were working up at the northern turning head area where I witnessed them putting down some asphalt work here on the shoulder area, the length of the turning head. And here we see all here, no doubt we have quite a bit of wide area here for our aircraft to taxi on to get to the apron area and to get back onto the runway when it is time for taking off. So I'm traveling here on this portion of the taxiway that they have done. Over the past weeks, you will have noticed the laying down of the base stones and the compacting of those stones, and now you are seeing that the extent of the work that has been done here at this area. They are not doing any asphalt work today, but I assume that next week they will continue with the asphalt work in whatever area they will have to do this work. But I am just showing you what has taken place here, where they would have done some work over the past week here on the commercial section of this taxiway leading up to a particular point. Now when I get to that area, I will show you exactly to where they have gotten to. Now we are here at the end to which this asphalt work has gotten. Here on the taxiway towards the commercial section of the airport site. Now right in front of us here where you have all those stakes being placed there, this is what we have as a parallel taxiway. That the aircraft can travel from end to end and come off at the bottom taxiway. For example, if you have an aircraft coming in and one is going to take off, the one that is coming in going to take off can go straight down and come off towards the cargo taxiway and work its way towards the takeoff point, while the other one that has just landed can use this point to get towards the terminal building area. So all this area in front of us here, no doubt, will be filled with base stone eventually and will be asphalted, and then we will have it just like to the level of the one behind us, linking all of this area together. As I cross over to the other side, you can see the height of the base stones laid over there, and they're going to bring it right across to this area where we are at here right now. And all here where we have these sticks, no doubt we will soon start to see stones being laid here and this area being built up, and then we'll have asphalt work being done here to make it look as the taxiway behind us there. But I am here on the access road to the airport terminal building. Walking here on one of the sidewalks walk on the left hand side heading out towards the main road. Now all that is left now, as it appears, is the filling back up of this area with base stones, the compaction and the asphalting of this area to have it complete. And also we have to have the manhole, the covering for these manholes that pass here under this sidewalk that is covering a box drain underneath here, that is taking the water that is coming down, that will be coming down off of the slope up here down into the drains down at the bottom. Now something so as we wait for the paving of this road area, work is continuing in other areas of the site, and very soon, when the time is right, we will have this area of the access road being asphalted and everything completed in this area. Now in the center column that we have here, these center columns that run in the center of the roadway, you notice that there are some cutouts at certain areas. Now this is to allow, in case of a vehicle breaking down in one of the lanes, to allow vehicle to move from one lane to the next to get past that vehicle and back into their correct lane. So in the center we have two wall columns, and these columns in between here, we're going to have some flower plants, whether palms or different flowers. Also the lighting system to light this area when it is completed. This area is where we're going to have the fuel farm, and I think that it is being done by Rubis, one of the fuel company here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So I don't know, probably they're going to put some tanks on this area here, the circled area that they have there, and pipes are going to run down towards the airport site. Probably that is how it's going to be. So, but all I can tell you here is where the fuel farm will go, And as the work progresses, we are going to get a better understanding as to how it is going to be done. But we have blocks being laid around the perimeter of these areas where these two tanks are going to be. And we have blocks on this side here, the western side. We have blocks run already on the southern end, and over there we have the trench being dug already for the blocks that will be run there on the eastern end. And then no doubt we'll also have blocks run on the northern end. There you're seeing one of the trucks transporting the cement to the airport site, coming from Kingston, heading right down to the airport site with cement. As it is being overtaken by those two vehicles.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're making history. This flight 757 is a maiden flight out of JFK Airport, flying into Argyle International Airport.
Dedication of desperation. Nationals made their contributions, eliminating our frustration. From our neighboring islands, their taxes so high, we want to cry. Cuba, Taiwan and Venezuela, Mexico, Trinidad and Tobago, embracing our commitment, witnessing our achievement. They are lifesavers when we need good neighbors. Argyle International Airport, we flying. Argyle International Airport, we landing. Argyle International Airport, we progressing. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, it's a blessing.
Now for those who probably wonder why we have these tubs placed across here with this yellow tape, and if you have noticed somewhere up there in the distance we have a black one placed on that concrete slab that we have there. Now these are covered with a plastic covering, and it is through these areas we have the conduit and the cables running. And what happens sometimes is that the equipment that are working here on the site will mistakenly ride over these plastic covers, and the weight of the vehicle will cause them to break, damage them. And apparently there isn't any replacement, and you know it's gonna cost to have them replaced. So in order to protect them from being damaged, you have these covers placed over them. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about in just a minute. Now if you look at this black tub here, where this black tub is, there has been a covering over this thing, and because some heavy equipment drove over on it, it caused the plastic covering to be damaged, and there you have it. So that's the result of these black and blue tubs being placed at these areas. And along the route going up there in some areas you have them also, because we also have similar objects like these as you travel along, where the conduit run right straight up along this pathway. If you're going and looking up there where you see that black one is, there is one of these boxes here with the same plastic cover going up there, and it has been placed there to prevent the vehicle from running over it mistakenly and damaging it. That is just the case. So in case you're wondering, I am just sort of bringing you up to date as to what is taking place with these objects being placed here at this section of the airport. Well, it's 4:30 Saturday afternoon, and here at the Argyle International Airport site, and I am making my way out. I just want to let you know that it has been a pleasure bringing you this weekend's update of the work here at the Argyle International Airport. But as I make my way out, if you recall this morning when we passed over there by the fencing, we had the mesh wire up there in that area. But as I make my way out, I've noticed that some of the mesh has gone up, and workmen are over there right now tightening them up. So there you have seen, this morning we passed there and the mesh were there leaning on the columns, the poles. Now this afternoon these mesh are in place, and while traveling down from the area where they were putting down those on the side under the control tower area, I would have noticed workmen there, 2 workmen were there putting in the boxing for the frame so that the poles could go in and fit it in place for the next pouring of the concrete in that area. So it seems as though there are 2 different shifts working, one working in the day and the other in the evening. But I am on my way out. As you know, today is the 3rd of October 2015, and at Victoria Park we have a massive Unity Youth Queen pageant taking place, and I don't want to miss that. So I'm heading out of here a little earlier than usual, and to say it was a pleasure being with you. Until next week, I am leaving here and leaving you from the Argyle International Airport, where I would have brought you the update for the work so far up to this week ending the 3rd day of October 2015. Do have yourself a pleasant viewing and a pleasant day or night or evening whenever you're viewing this video, and may God continue to bless us all as we look forward to the opening and the operation of this Argyle International Airport here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Thank you very much.